Now, I've heard from a very, very credible source today that U.S. federal workers did receive an email on Saturday basically saying the email was from HR, but I think initiated by Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. The email simply stated that please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachment. The deadline is this Monday, which is tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so let me get to the original X post by Elon Musk. Let's see here. This is the content of the email, but I want to get to the Elon Musk post. All right. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'll read to you the Twitter synopsis. Elon Musk, in response to President Trump's directive for more aggressive action, has announced that federal employees will receive an email to outline their weekly accomplishments. Failure to respond by the deadline will be considered a resignation. This directive has sparked varied reactions, with some agencies like the FBI choosing not to comply and labor unions preparing to challenge any terminations. So that's the gist of it, right? I'm really trying to find that original X post by Elon Musk. And I don't think that I am going to find it right now. All right. Well, since Elon Musk's X post, he basically came out and said, where is it? Right? He basically came out and said afterwards, the reason why this matters is that a significant number of people who are supposed to be working for the federal government are doing so little work that they are not checking their email at all. In some cases, we believe non-existent people or the identities of dead people are being used to collect paychecks. In other words, there is outright fraud. So Elon Musk is justifying his actions to federal employees in his last attempt to justify the workload that you have or resign. So we're going to get to some stories here. Let's jump to some stories here, shall we?
Elon Musk, the billionaire advisor to Donald Trump, has now issued a fresh threat to federal employees, asking them to justify their work or lose their jobs. This hours after the president pushed him to be more aggressive in slashing government spending. In a post on social media, Musk said that all employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week, adding that failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. According to the email titled, "What did you do last week?" a copy of which was provided by the AFP, federal workers were asked to submit approx 5 bullets of what the staff accomplished last week. The deadline to reply was 11:59 p.m. Monday, though it did not say failure to do would lead to termination. Yesterday, Trump on social media lauded Musk for doing a great job, but expressed his desire to see him to get more aggressive. He reminded the tech billionaire that they had a country to save. Trump has put the tech entrepreneur in charge of the new Department of Government Efficiency, tasking him with slashing public spending and tackling waste and alleged corruption. Well, however, the question is, what did you get done this week does ring a bell, as was pointed out by many on X. Before acquiring Twitter in 2022 and rebranding it as X, he texted that question to then CEO Parag Agrawal. Contributing to the conversation, the tech billionaire said, Parag got nothing, Parag was fired.
Let's go to the next story. Now, mind you, there are people throughout the United States that are freaking out over this. I remember the days back, way back when in 2020 when I was a contractor, and I was literally required to write down everything I did for the week. So it's nothing that's unheard of. But I think that the shock and awe of it is things that is the reason why people are caught so off guard by this. Trump campaigned on this on the campaign trail before the 2024 elections.
This morning, chaos and confusion across the federal government. Elon Musk now downplaying the ultimatum he issued to federal workers: explain what you've done or resign. Musk initially posting on X, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Those emails already going out. Sources tell ABC they ask employees to list 5 bullet points of what they've accomplished in the last week. The deadline to respond is tomorrow night. Several hours later, Musk posting, the bar is very low here. An email with some bullet points that make any sense at all is acceptable. Sources tell ABC top officials at the White House were caught off guard, and many federal agencies, from the State Department to NASA, are urging employees to hold off responding. Newly installed FBI Director Kash Patel telling employees to pause on responding to the email. When pressed, a White House official tells ABC it's up to each employee's manager to determine if the answers are satisfactory. And overnight, President Trump praising the latest moves from Musk.
Elon is doing a great job. He's doing a great job.
Taking a victory lap at the Conservative Political Action Conference, touting his mass layoffs of federal workers.
I've ended all of the so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across the entire federal government and the private sector, and notified every single government DEI officer that their job has been deleted. They're gone. They're fired. You're fired. Get out.
And the fallout continues after Trump fired the nation's top military leadership, ousting General C.Q. Brown as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, alongside several other senior leaders. Brown, a 4-star fighter pilot, has come under fire as Trump aims to rid the military of leaders who support diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, as Brown and some of the others who were fired had done. Trump nominating as his replacement Dan Kane, a retired...
I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I believe that this particular story, they're conflating 2 or 3 issues and melting them all into one. I think that the firing of federal employees is part of the overall downsizing of the federal government when it comes to salaries, when it comes to contracts, when it comes to duplication of efforts and programs across the board, looking for opportunities to consolidate efforts in the cybersecurity realm, in the artificial intelligence realm. We have to look for opportunities to streamline and consolidate and save money. Salaries is a huge portion of any agency's budget, and although it's not necessarily operational maintenance dollars, their admin salary dollars, it's still part of the budget. Getting people paid, getting federal employees paid within the federal government, it still takes appropriation passed by Congress. I want to go to another video where it kind of expands on the story as we see it. But I think the confusion really comes from the media. As Elon Musk described, providing 5 bullets on what you did last week should be a very easy task. 1 minute per bullet, 5 minutes.
Ultimatum to federal workers from Elon Musk, asking federal employees to detail their accomplishments last week, and it comes with a warning if the email is ignored. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is in Washington tracking this. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Gio. And that ultimatum from Elon Musk, it is making federal workers even more anxious and confused. Musk is taking his effort to slash the size of the federal government to a whole new level by posting that federal workers need to explain what they've accomplished in the last week or get fired. This morning, chaos and confusion across the federal government. Elon Musk now downplaying the ultimatum he issued to federal workers, explain what you've done or resign. Musk initially posting on X, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Those emails already going out. Sources tell ABC they ask employees to list 5 bullet points of what they've accomplished in the last week. The deadline to respond is tomorrow night. Several hours later, Musk posting, the bar is very low here. An email with some bullet points that make any sense at all is acceptable. Sources tell ABC top officials at the White House were caught off guard, and many federal agencies from the...
So we kind of heard this report before. It's pretty circular. All they have to go off of are maybe 3 or 4 tweets that Elon Musk posted on X. I think, number one, none of this should be coming from Elon Musk when it comes to federal employees. I think, unless President Trump is allowing this to happen and allowing it to happen in a fashion where it seems chaotic, it seems unorthodox. But if I'm presented with an email from HR asking me to provide 5 bullet points of my accomplishments last week, the first thing that I'll do is I'll verify through my immediate supervisors on the overall approach the agency is taking to gin up the response, review the responses to make sure that they're holistic and, doesn't have any broken sentences or incomplete sentences, and actually ties back to the mission of the agency or overall organization. And then I'd hit send, right, with the agency's blessing, because my assumption is that the executives in every federal agency across the board in the U.S. government, there's some sort of coordination being done to make sure that we're responding in a uniform manner. And that's what I would expect. I don't think that it's going to be like herding cats where everybody is doing their own thing in these responses. I think it's going to be a coordinated response, and there may be some templates flying around to make sure that each statement makes sense and it ties back to the overall mission of the agency. And so I would not take this lightly. If you are a federal employee of the United States government, I would definitely contact your immediate supervisor or supervisors and come up with a more uniform, complete, holistic way in responding to the HR email that folks received yesterday, February 22nd, 2025. Right? Hey, it doesn't have to be confusing. If you've been working, if you've been trying hard and working for the American people, working for veterans, working for the armed services or whatever the case is, boots on the ground, doing your thing, you have nothing to worry about. If you haven't been doing anything and you're struggling to come up with 5 things that you did last week, then you may be in trouble. But hey, please like, share, and subscribe this video if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.